Welcome to Omega Coding Web Development Lessons. There is nothing difficult in web development and development in general, and I can prove it to you. Today we will continue learning about the Redux library. As you can see that I have already installed the React Redux libraries with the npm I save Redux, and this will connect the Redux store with the React components. However, now we need to work with the Redux library, and therefore we do the same thing with the npm I save. We just write here Redux. Okay, now let's go to our project. Here we comment the following code, and then we open that one. Now we reload our application. Okay, and here we can see that we have an additional code and we have to remove it. And now let's remove the additional code and let's reload our application. Okay, now here you can see that it is a basic React application. Okay, now let us import the provider method from the React and Redux library. Import provider from React Redux. After that, we import the create store from the Redux library. Okay, and now let us copy the code that we've already written it in the last lesson, and we paste it here. As you can see that we've placed the playlist function, which we called it during the last lesson a reducer. Now all we have to do is to insert the app into the provider. Now we add to the provider the store as a props. Store. Now the store will be available in all the child component, which is the app in our case. Now let's work with the app.js a little, and let's turn it into a smart component, which means a component that the store will have access to. That's why we import connect from React Redux library. And now we remove the following code. And instead of export default app, we insert export default connect. Now the following method can take two arguments at the same time. And the second one is dispatch, which returns an empty object. After that, the connect returns the function, so the method starts working properly. And now we transfer the app. So the first function is called map_state to props because it actually takes the state of the store and inserts it in the component as props. Now this allows us to register and to follow any changes taking place in the store. First we return the test store and we initialize the state itself. In the render, again through the console log, we add this props test store. Okay, now let's reload our application, and here we can see the empty array, which is the store that we wrote it during the last lesson. And when we change it, the render of the app component starts to work, and the console log shows us the empty array of the store. Now in the index.js we change the store, we create a new variable, const initial state, and now I insert the names of two songs. Now we have in the playlist of Frank Sinatra My Way and the second song Killing Me Softly again for Frank Sinatra. So now the reducer was the playlist function, and now I add the initial state here and it won't be empty anymore. Here we can see the initial values inserted in the store. And now I can insert in the UL the songs that I have them in the store. So the songs that I want to insert them are in the this props test store. And in order to copy these songs, I write this map, and we open the parentheses. And so here we can return the li, in which the key index, and now we close the parentheses so that it takes the song as an argument. Now we remove the curly brackets here. And we go to our application. So now let's reload our application. And here you go. You can see the leads we've inserted are here. And here, instead of a JavaScript application, we have an application created with the React, which will use the Redux and which will have initial values that they will appear here. Now let's take the Now let's take the input value in order. Now let's take the input value in order to insert it in the store later. We have two options. The first one is to change the state, and the other one you can do it with the ref. Now since we don't want to insert it in the local state, then with the ref, now here with the ref, we call an arrow function and we get the input event. And here we add the curly brackets in which we want to write the variable. For example, this song name, and we insert like any song name we want, and we insert here input. After that, in the render, we'll remove the console log. Now when you click the button, you need to get a console log, and that's why in the button we add the onClick event. Button onClick, and then I attribute into the onClick button like any function. Let's suppose function insertion. So you can see that the f insertion is an arrow function. After that, we insert the f insertion in the render again, which is an arrow function as well, and then we copy it through the console log. So here we have the arrow function which we talked about, and we assume test for the moment. Now let's reload our application. Here we go. Like if we insert in the input anything here, and I'll click the button, you can see in the console log the test that we've written there will appear. However, if we try to insert instead of the test this song name variable, when we add anything, you can see that the input type text will appear in the console log. But if we add to that value, now we write here again anything, now you can see that the thing that we've written here, the value will appear in the console log. So now we have to dispatch our event. As you can see that we have already called the dispatch with the JavaScript. We've been working to insert the React components in the store, and that's why we inserted the component in the provider, and we send the store to the provider as a prop, as props. Also, we have exported the connect, as you can see it here. So we should call the dispatch which is available in the connect's second argument. That's it. Now from the brackets and the parentheses we can realize that the dispatch is like an object which gets the values. So, and here we write like any value, store enter, which will be also row function. Which will get the song name variable. Here we're using also the dispatch, and with an object look we also send type, and with an object look we also send type. However, our type name was add song, as you can see it here, and as a payload we insert the same song name here. And now we call the store enter, and we transfer this value here to the props. And now we remove the console and we reload our application. Okay, now we reload our application, and when we insert in the input Frank Sinatra song in New York, Now you can see that the value appears in the store and it will appear in the li as well. Okay, now let us review our coding process and understand everything better. First, in the input, we added the ref and we saved the input value not in like any state variable, rather we inserted the ref value in the following variable, which will be accessible in our component. Now with the onClick, we call the following function and we use the value of the song name variable, and that's what actually we did by transferring the song name value to the store enter method. And we mentioned the store enter method in the second argument of the connect function. However, concerning the connect, you should really understand that the first argument is responsible to receive data from the store, and actually most of the time it is called map state to props, while the second argument is responsible to insert like anything in the store. However, in the future we will be changing it to map dispatch props. The map state to props transfers what in the store is to the props, while the map dispatch to props is responsible to insert anything. In other words, we insert like anything in the store through the dispatch. That was for today. I hope you enjoyed it and I believe that you can do it.